All right, Ultra Nation. My name is Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Foss. This is This Week in Rec, Week 2. Coming to you from Fridley. We'll start last night, Bloomington South. Last week you said they've lost their identity. Yesterday, it surely looked like they did. The Rebels get blasted by the Goodfellas.
Yeah, okay.
Talk about, is this even the Rebels anymore?
Sure doesn't look like it. I mean, they gave up 70 points, 70-plus points.
Yeah.
It's not Rebels basketball. If they would have, I don't think I've ever seen the Rebels get blown out like that. I can't remember. And I honestly think it's because you no longer have that identity. When you had Dustin, Jansen, Ferber, then even with Monska, and then you have Cody, the last few seasons. Then you had Tyler Brown. You have guys that are really gritty defenders, Pat Magnuson. Then you change and we add Kloby, which you can kind of mask. But then when Kloby and Epel are on the court at the same time, your offense improves tenfold. But your defense takes a huge hit because now all the work that Dustin and Jansen are doing on the perimeter is moot because those other two guys can exploit their matchup and the defense is wasted. So do I think it'll work? Eventually they'll figure something out, whether it's to outscore teams or just play run and gun, just try to go offense versus offense. But they got to pick. They got to pick something and go with it because what happened last night was not going to work.
The Rebels outscoring teams. I never thought I'd hear that.
I'm just saying, offense versus offense as opposed to deep. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So a couple of new squads last night faced off against each other. I caught a little bit of it, but Rubio Tuesdays, and we don't know all their names yet. I do know one guy's name because I've been corresponding with him via email, but they take down the goods minus Marcus Sherrills. Do you think Marcus Sherrills you think his feelings were hurt because of what you said about him last week?
Yeah, he's terrified.
He's terrified.
He doesn't want to be embarrassed in the league. Come on, Marcus, get it together, bud.
Give me a quick scouting report on Rubio's.
I think one of them went to Benilde. 40, he's got like I'm going to say he went to Benilde. He's got like the low-cut shorts, and he's very proper. He went to a private school for sure, 100%.
Well, 3 of them did go to St. Thomas Academy, correct?
Well, that's a shocker. That's a stereotype right there that works. 40 definitely went to St. Thomas Academy. The guy with the green shoes, he could play. 17's not bad. I mean, I don't know their names.
We'll get to know their names as time. This was their first game yesterday. Give us a chance.
They're what the Shockers were a few seasons back when they tried to cheat and throw a few college players on their team. No, just kidding. They're like the Shockers when they first entered the league. So hopefully, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs this season, but they'll figure out the league and they'll figure out how to bolster their team because they have a couple guys that they could push to the side. You know what I mean?
Okay, we got to chat a little bit about the UH Rewind. Them loses a close one to the Gorillas. I love them's team. I love them. I think they're going to go deep in the postseason. My Week 2 prediction is Sock Thumpers over them in the championship. That's an early prediction. Okay, that's early. Hey, I said Sock Thumpers last week have a chance, and now I like them's game. Hey, you know what? I predicted the Gorillas to win the Gold Cup last season, did I not?
Well, technically, if Big Smash and them can play in the finals, I guess Sock Thumpers and them could.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but okay. So, Week 2 prediction, Sock Thumpers will defeat them in the championship. I love them's game. They work so hard on D. They built themselves organically. The UH Rewind will be out Monday or Tuesday. You'll be able to watch that full game. Good game. Let's not talk about the Gorillas. We don't need to talk about them. Your Gold Cup champion Gorillas. Fast forward to Fridley. Tonight, we got a brand new team on hand that was pretty good. Now, they played the Squids, but Team America has got a guy by the name of Tony Parker, who he's a pretty good player. Yeah. You watched him. You watched the whole game. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Tony's game.
Briggs and I have nicknamed him Duke, basically insinuating that he played at Duke as a joke. He's obviously not Duke good, but he played college basketball. So whether we find him tonight or we find him in 12 years, he's eventually going to come out. He's probably going to get really drunk with like Dustin DuPont. He's going to say, yeah, bro, I played at some small school and whatever, and then he's going to get ousted.
Why do you have to jump to that conclusion immediately?
About what?
About him playing college.
because he did.
Well, look at a guy like Mike Byrne.
Yeah. He did. Mike Byrne went to the University of Michigan.
Okay, well, maybe Tony Parker went to Illinois.
He went to St. Cloud State.
I guess we'll be able to figure it out then.
St. Cloud State isn't in the top 10 colleges in the United States. Last I checked, maybe they've climbed the ranks recently.
Maybe. Well, good luck in your search tonight. I'm sure I'll get a text from you at 2 a.m.
We're gonna find you, Tony.
Okay, well, I hope for Team America's sake that he didn't play college because he's a great player. Yeah. Love to have him in the league. We're going to bring on Mr. Briggs here a little bit to talk briefly about that. We talked about it a little bit last week.
Come here.
What do you want me to do with this guy here? Future UHer?
Future UHer.
What's your name?
My name's Abdi.
Abdi.
Hey, are you related to the other Abdi? Do you have an Abdi in your family?
Yeah.
See? Hey, Abdi, we found your.
Jeez! What is going on over here? Hey, we're trying to record a show here.
Abdi, we found your brother, the other Abdi. If you, we'll find him for you. Okay, we'll bring him home.
All right, thanks, Abdi.
Thanks, Abdi.
Hey, he's got a Spalding basketball already, so he's on the right track. Okay.
God, I don't think I've met an Abdi I don't like. He's great.
Okay, we talked about Team America. They blast the Squids. We're going to chat a little bit. Briggs, I'm going to bring him on a little bit about. Now, we kind of beat it to death a couple seasons ago, but the whole Travis Johnson, if he played in the Barracudas, it's good for the league. If he plays in the Grills, it's bad for the league type of thing. Anything else you have tonight? Avengers start out the season. They blast the Pigeons. A lot of blasting going on tonight.
Well, the Bulls, apparently I wasn't watching because I was playing, but the Bulls, I think, had a lead late in the game against Off Constantly.
But they blew it.
And the Kudas, same thing.
Yeah, the Kudas blew their lead. The Kudas were. It was funny. I was watching from upstairs, and they went on a little run. And Matt Johnson, he was getting really like Junius. Yeah, let's go. I was like, man, you guys calm yourself a little bit still. Yeah, you've got a ways to go, but they'll get there. I like that Barracuda squad as well. Xavier does a lot of things well. Jake Thompson can shoot lights out. So, what do we learn after 2 weeks?
We learned that there's a huge discrepancy between the best teams and the worst teams in this league. Hey, come here. You seem interested. What's your name? Come here, right here.
My name?
Right here. What's your name?
Abdi.
Of course it is. Thanks, Abdi. All right, thanks, buddy. You honestly can't make that. I had no idea.
Okay,
we're out.
We'll see. Oh my. Okay, I'm here with Jason Briggs. I hate to beat a dead horse. We talked about this ad nauseum.
It's a good phrase.
About a year ago with Travis Johnson, but I think it bears bringing up again because of Derek Scully.
Yes.
And that is, this is growing a little bit past a rec league. Is Derek Scully on the Crusaders bad for this league?
Absolutely not.
And I agree. Why not?
Because anytime we can lift some of the teams that perennially, now I'm not going to bash the Crusaders because they made the playoffs several seasons in a row, but I don't know if they've gotten above 14, 15. I mean, they're typically in the maybe 17 to 20 range. Anytime you can lift them up to compete with a team like the Gorillas, who is essentially just a rec all-star team, I think it's great for the league. The problem is, how do you keep those players on the Crusaders? How do you keep Travis Johnson on the Barracudas? How do you keep Tony Parker on Team America? Because
you're already jumping.
I saw him, and he's called Duke not only because he looks like he played for Duke, but he also looks like a G.I. Joe, and Duke was a G.I. Joe.
So here's the thing. One side of the coin is, well, then it's not a rec league anymore, right? But it already isn't a rec league anymore. And I don't know if it's a bad thing. Now, is that ever going to happen? We're a long way from that happening, because then it would legitimately not be a rec league.
We lose a lot of players. We really would.
But I don't know, because if a team like the Barracudas could sign a Travis Johnson, that would make them want to play more.
Right. If we limited it to certain teams via salary cap, something like that, I think it would be good for the league. The problem is, and I sat by Izzy, and I love the guy, but he had already found his gorilla for next season watching Team America play. So he was salivating at the mouth. He's like, I might even kick Maher off to get this guy. So that's the problem, and I'm pretty sure Marmol is trying to get him to switch to off constantly too. I think he offered Magnuson to them for Tony Parker. So we'll see if that trade goes through. I mean, we got GM veto power, but yeah, that's the fear. If you could keep these guys to certain teams, it would be great. But the second these guys make the powerhouses even more powerful, we're going to lose a ton of players.
Well, you'd have to apply every season. If you played college basketball, you'd have to. I mean, you would have to say, okay, this season I'm going to play for the Barracudas, and we say, okay, because if they say this season I'm going to play for the Gorillas, it'd be like, well, you can't.
I'm also not completely fond of the idea of a subjective committee to where, do I think he's bad enough to play?
Sure.
Essentially, or the team's bad enough for him. I mean, we bring the same guys up every time. Neuenfeld, Joel Hedberg. There's no reason those guys would be good rec players. They'd be good additions to teams, but because they played college ball, they can't. Like, those guys are the guys I'm interested in bringing to the league. Not so much the guys who would dominate. And Derek Scully, he scored 18 points a game at a JUCO. And he single-handedly beat the Gorillas. Now, the Gorillas were off that night, but he single-handedly won that game.
Sure.
He might be a little bit too good. But Neuenfeld, bring that floppy hair in. He's the perfect kind of guy. Loves the league, passionate, team player. He's the exact kind of guy we want in this league.
Our UH Nation, weigh in. Let us know what you think. Again, I think it's a great topic, a great conversation, and we're always looking for ways to improve the league. 2 weeks in, what do we know?
I think when it comes to the Pigeons, we know whether they're fight or flight.
That's good. I think having the name on the chest, it just makes you feel weak. So I'm thinking about renaming the team to, like, the Fire Pigeons or something, or the Fire-breathing Pigeons, because, man, it's just soft. Even the hardest of players that come to that team, they just turn to softies.
I think Fridley's got some talent this season. I think they've got a few high-end teams. I think the Avengers are going to be good, obviously. Off Constantly is good.
Obviously.
The Warriors are good. And I think don't sleep on the Bulls. Fob, definitely not. Izzy just said Fob, definitely not good. And Killer Bees, if they'd ever get a full roster. If Brad Carmen's still on the team and they got Bella, I think they could be a solid team too. So 4 or 5 teams could make a deep run at Fridley. So I know they're going to get bashed here. Oh, Fridley sucks. When was the last time they... Yeah, whatever.
Look at the banners. I mean,
I think they're going to be... Well, Gino moved one Bloomington, one here.
Yes, I got it.
A lot. There are a lot of Fridley banners, so it's just... Don't bash Fridley till you see it. There's some good teams here.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Briggs. We will chat next week.